Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, January the 30th, and time once again for the mailbag. As always, I hope you guys have had a great week and a great weekend. Very rainy today. Great day for sitting and reading. So the end of a month already. The first month of the new year, and even though I know it doesn't look like it from the output on the channel, I have actually had a really good and busy and productive month. Mainly because I've been working a little bit ahead. I have a couple of things planned for the channel in March, and I have been reading ahead for that stuff. And so it feels good to get a little bit ahead of the game, but at the same time I know, all right, there's new books right now that I want to be covering, that I need to be covering, and so you are going to get a couple of new reviews this week, and then, new and old stuff kind of intermingled throughout the next couple of months. But it just feels good to be reading and making content and preparing for content and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's kind of it for announcements and channel updates. I have a pretty modest mailbag for the week, so it won't take us long to get through these. Let's check them out, shall we? And this one is in from Simon & Schuster, so I'm going to think it's a saga title. Okay, and I am very happy to open with this one. This is Village in the Sky. The new book by Jack McDevitt comes out tomorrow on the 31st from Saga Press. This is the newest book in the Alex Benedict series. It's a very, very long-running series. At least one of the books in this series has won a Nebula. There have been several other Nebula finalists from this series. These are kind of deep space mysteries. Not necessarily murder mysteries per se, but just mysteries having to do with alien artifacts and civilizations and things of that nature. So, in this and I don't think you have to, they each kind of function as standalones, right? So you don't have to be like, oh God, how far back do I have to go? Because this is like the 9th one or something like that. But anyway, it says, centuries after a war with the Mutes, the first aliens to be encountered by humankind, a startling new discovery in the far reaches of the Orion Nebula appears. On a planet with conditions favorable to life, explorer vessel the Columbia comes across a small town, seemingly inhabited by an intelligent species not yet discovered. But when a highly publicized follow-up mission is sent to make contact mere months later, the entire town has vanished, leaving no trace, or such is presumed to be the case, until Alex Benedict and his archaeological crew show up to investigate. Officially, their mission is to find concealed artifacts that may have been left behind, but the team's real goal is to solve the mystery of how these aliens disappeared so rapidly, and why, in turns terrifying and miraculous, the answers raise the stakes for every member on board as they look to make their mark on history. Okay, and this goes on to say, Nebula Award-winning author Jack McDevitt, whom Stephen King has called the logical heir to Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke, brings back Alex, Chase, and Gabe for another brilliantly crafted science fiction mystery. Fun stuff. Looking forward to reading this, and and reviewing it soon as well. So, out tomorrow, Village in the Sky. And next up from Saga Press, of course, I am deliriously happy to have Don't Fear the Reaper. This is the new book by Stephen Graham Jones. It's the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, and this one will be out on the 7th of February. It says, Jade Daniels, slasher film aficionado and reformed goth girl, has returned to the rural lake town of Proof Rock after serving 4 years in prison. The same day as convicted indigenous serial killer Dark Mills South escapes into town to complete his revenge killing. So this is, an homage to, 80s slasher horror, that kind of thing. Don't usually like those in movie form, myself personally. I just find them really reductive and just basic. And most of them are just not very imaginative. But in book form, authors can do a whole lot of stuff that kind of revisits these tropes and has a little bit of fun with them. So, Don't Fear the Reaper. Definitely going to be reviewing these soon. Available on February the 7th from Saga Press. And next up, I have a big crackly package from Random Penguin. And here's another one I'm really happy to get. This is Critical Mass, the new book by Daniel Suarez, and I believe this is set in the same future as his previous book, which was called Delta V. And I believe that this is out either also tomorrow or on the 7th of February. But let's have a look and see what it says, because it doesn't appear to have a sell sheet. When unforeseen circumstances during an innovative and unsanctioned commercial asteroid mining mission leave 2 crew members stranded, those who make it back must engineer a rescue, all while navigating a shifting web of global political alliances and renewed Cold War tensions. With Earth governments consumed by the ravages of climate change and unable to take the risks necessary to make rapid progress in space, a crew must build their own next-gen spacecraft capable of mounting a rescue in time for the asteroid's next swing by Earth. In the process, they'll need to establish the first spin-gravity station in deep space, the first orbiting solar power satellite and refinery, and historic infrastructure on the Moon's surface, all of which could alleviate a deepening ecological, political, and economic crisis back on Earth, and prove that space-based industry is not only profitable, but possibly humanity's best hope for a livable, peaceful future. Well, how about that? It's not just hard science fiction, but it's optimistic hard science fiction, and I have been missing and lacking that in my life so much. But I'm happy to have it here. Critical Mass by Daniel Suarez, coming out soon from Random Penguin. And last but not least, a skinny little package from Macmillan. Okay, well this is nice. They sent me a physical arc of the new short novel by Kate Elliott. It's called The Keepers 6, but I believe that the actual book itself is out. If it's not already out, it'll be out at least by tomorrow, because it's a January title. But anyway, so yeah, let's see what this one's all about. Kate Elliott just being super prolific lately. It says, there are terrors that dwell in the space between worlds. Okay, you have my attention. It's been a year since Esther set foot in the beyond, the alien landscape stretching between worlds, crossing boundaries of space and time. She and her magical traveling party, her Hex, haven't spoken since the Concilium banned them from the beyond for a decade. But when she wakes in the middle of the night to her son's cry for help, the members of her Hex are the only ones she can trust to help her bring him back from wherever he has been taken. Esther will have to risk everything to find him. Undercover and hidden from the Concilium, she and her Hex will be tested, by false dragon lords, a darkness so dense it can suffocate, and the bones of an old crime come back to haunt her. Out now, or nowish, from Tor.com Publishing, The Keepers 6. So there you have it, a very modest mailbag for the last Monday in January, but still fun, not a bad, contrast to the ones that sometimes run 35, 40 minutes, take forever to edit. But you guys know the drill. As always, light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, and which you would like to see me prioritize for review. And also, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe. If you have not done so, that is how the channel grows. And you can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like occasionally early access to some of my videos. But mostly, what I use the Patreon money for is to pay Matt Olson, my brilliantly talented and gifted channel artist, who does all of my amazing and wonderful thumbnails for me. So, as always, that support is greatly appreciated. I also want to thank all the rest of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube, and until I see all of you next time, stay safe and healthy, and happy reading.